I'm going to assign, I think it might be in your packet already, I don't know. But if it's not, fine. I'm going to assign a couple problems to you and your group. Oh, and I'll assign you one of these three groups here, all right? So you'll join one. You'll have the whole period to do it. I'll come around and randomly select the one I'm correcting. Whatever that person gets, the rest of the group gets. So it avoids the whole letting one person do all the work and everyone else just screws around. All right, so that's it. If you're not here on Monday, unfortunately, you got to do it by yourself. You got to do it solo instead of with your group. All right, so that's what we're doing. We're not doing anything new on Monday. We're going to practice what I've taught you in a group assignment. All right, so here we go. We just said that's pretty crappy. I can't find the 40th term unless I know the previous 39. Not anymore. Okay, not anymore. That was recursive. Now what I'm going to show you is what's called an explicit formula where, you know what, guys? You can find any term you want right now, no matter what the previous terms are. All right? It's called an explicit formula. You find the term you want right now. So here's your first explicit formula. To find any term, it's equal to 2 times to the n. And I'll talk about what the n means right now. So what I want to know is, what's the 4th term? And yesterday, you'd have to find the first, second, third. We don't have time for that anymore. So how do I get right to the 4th term? You plug in the term you're trying to find, which is 4. So A, 4, the 4th term is going to be equal to 2 raised to the, what am I plugging in for n? The term I'm finding, which is 2 to the 4th. And I heard 8 over here, and I just want to just try magically. 2 to the 4th, 8. Yep.
I'm at 16.
Yep.
Is that 64?
Yep.
16.
No, it's not.
You guys have calculators? Are they working today?
64 squared.
2 to the 4th.
Evil box.
2 to the 4th. 16, everybody?
Yep.
Use your calculators. No shame.
Evil box.
That's how we can use an explicit formula to find any term you want now. You don't have to know anything about the previous one. All right, how about the 10th term here?
Like it's 20.
Yeah. 2 to the 10th? I don't know, that's a very large number.
1024 off the top of my head.
That's a large number.
I was just doing it in my head. I was like 1024.
Where is that number? What do we have there?
1024.
That's actually not as big as I thought it was going to be. 1024. And then finally, what am I asking for here now? I didn't write it out in words. I wrote it as 6th term. Good. So all I need to do is plug in 6 for n.
120. Guaranteed.
64.
That's called an explicit formula now. You just, whatever term you want to find, you plug that term number in and calculate the term. All right, let's go quick through this one now. Now I want the first 5 terms if I give you this explicit formula. The first 5 terms. All right, how do I? Now notice, unlike recursive, do I have to give you the first? No, you can find it by doing what? How do you find the first term now? Plug in 1 for n. There you go. I don't need to give you the first term like I did yesterday. You can find it yourself by plugging in 1 for n. So go through right now. I'll walk around. You got to plug in 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm not moving on until everyone does it. Because I have a feeling some of us just sit here and just hang out and not complete any of the notes. I got the pen, Owen. Worry about you. That's what I tell my daughters. Don't worry about anybody else. Worry about you. And I know some of you are brainwashed. Oh, I got to put the previous. No, you're not. You're not plugging in the previous term anymore. This isn't recursive. You're plugging in the term you want to find.
Oh my God, I'm great. To you, man. What if we don't have like a recursive, like one of those special formulas?
What do you mean? Well, it's either going to be one or it's either going to be recursive, what we did yesterday, where I give you the first term and the rule to find the next term, or it's going to be explicit, which is what we're doing now, which you can find.
Is there a way to find any number with like your calculator for the first one? Or do you just
What do you mean? You got to find, just plug in
You
one.
just gotta plug it in?
Just got to plug in one.
Yeah.
John. No. That's yesterday. That's called recursive. Now, when I do this explicit, whatever term you want to find, you plug in that number. So if you're finding the second term, you plug in 2. All right, you're doing what we did yesterday, which is recursive. This is explicit now, where you just plug. If you want to find the 100th term, you plug in 100. If you want to find the 8th, you plug in 8. Okay. All right, how's this going? Are we all right?
Yes.
We good?
Certainly.
Good, yeah. Okay. Just make sure we're on the right format. All right. Any questions? Now we understand the difference. Yesterday was recursive, where I needed to know the previous term. Now explicit, plug in the term. You can find it real quick. All right. Everyone good between the differences between the two? Go ahead. What's up, Leah?
So, how can we like tell the difference like on a quiz?
Okay, good question. I'll either say here's a recursive formula, or remember yesterday, recursive always comes in 2 parts.
Oh, it's
So I'll give you the first term and the rule using the previous. So that's also a way too. Anything else? All right. So we have a special type of sequence.
Oh, nice.
All right, a special type of sequence called, I don't know, how do you guys want to pronounce this? I pronounce it one way, but kids usually pronounce it another.
Arithmetic.
I call it arithmetic. If you want to call it an arithmetic sequence, that's whatever floats your boat. I'm going to use arithmetic. Okay. What makes a sequence arithmetic? See if you guys can find the pattern. Up here, I have 3 arithmetic sequences. Look at number 1. Anybody see a pattern in number 1? Add 5, right? Add 5. Yep, good. Anybody see the pattern in the second one? Okay, whoa. Instead of subtract 2, can I keep the adding theme going? And add what instead? Add -2. Everyone's on board still? Ooh, how about the next sequence?
Add a negative, add a 1/2.
Everyone, I'm subtracting 1/2, which would be the same as adding -1/2. All right. You see a theme?
All adding.
See a theme to arithmetic sequences?
All added.
You always add the same number every time. All right. So if a sequence is going to be arithmetic, you add the same number every time. And that number that you're adding, we got to attach a vocab term to it now.
Negative number.
No, that number we are adding is called a common difference. All right, that is the number being added. Okay, the number being added. And we're going to attach a variable to it. And the variable is going to be D for difference. All right, so up here, you could have said D equals, what were we going by here? 5 if you wanted to. You could say D equals -2. You could say D equals -1/2 up here. So before I move on, what makes a sequence arithmetic? Adding the same number. And what's that number called? Common difference, and I represent it with the letter D for difference. And that's all we're going to work on today, arithmetic sequences. Questions about them? All right. Buckle up. There is a formula associated with every arithmetic sequence. There is a formula. Let me give you that formula right now. I don't know why we have you guys, do I still get to give you the box on the next page? Okay, if you want to try to fit it in there, that's fine. All right, here's the formula for every arithmetic sequence. Let me write it down and I'll tell you what each piece means. A subscript n. We've seen that before. Equals A1. We definitely know what that should mean, right?
It's the first term.
Right, well, yeah. Plus parentheses, n minus 1 in the parentheses. And on the outside, D.
That's crazy.
Now, that's a mouthful to remember, isn't it, kids? That's a mouthful to remember. Well, I got good news for you. You never have to memorize it.
Oh
All right? On the Regents in January, just like geometry and algebra 1, you're given this, which is a reference sheet. On that reference sheet is this formula for arithmetic sequences. I will give you this formula on a quiz or test, so there's no need to remember this. So what I'm going to do right now is give you your own copy, which you are going to hold on to, like big boy, big girls, your seniors, and bring it every day to class with you. When I give it to you, locate where this formula is, where it says arithmetic sequences. Locate this formula.
He's the CEO of math.
Did you tell me to put that on there?
Bring this to every class period, please. If you want to hole punch it, there's a hole puncher over there on your way out. Locate it, please. Locate it. Everyone see it? Right-hand column. It says arithmetic sequences. Don't worry about what the rest says. That's the only one we're focusing on today. All right, you're ready to use it for the first time, and so I can tell you what all these letters mean up here. All right, let's take a look at the first one. I want you guys to find the 9th term if I know what. What am I giving you here? Read it to me here. Read it.
The first one.
First term is
10.
10. I know what's D stand for. Common difference, that's what I'm adding every single time, is -5. And I don't have time. I know some of you might want to do, I don't have time for this. Oh, 10 minus 5, that's 5. That's 0, and I'll go all the way up to the 9th one, or the 9th term. I don't have time for that. Plus, you know on the quiz what I'll do to you? I'll turn that into the 50th term. We don't have time to do that. List it out. I'm forcing you to use the formula. So write the formula out. AN equals A1 plus, oops, sorry, one job, plus N minus 1 times D. All right, this is how we use the formula. N is the term we're trying to find. This could be any term in the sequence. The term we're trying to find here is what? 9. Now watch, I'm not going to put 9 there. It's A 9, showing me you're finding the 9th term. Equals, I think you guys can help me there. What's the first term?
10.
10, so plug in a 10 for A1. Plus, all right, let's talk about that N. What'd you just plug for it over here?
9.
That's how many terms, excuse me, the term you're trying to find, the 9th term. The term you're trying to find. -1.
All right, let's do it.
And then your D value? -5. And this can be all plugged in one step into your calculator to find out what the 9th term is.
-30.
Let's make sure we all can find the same value. Use your calculator. I'm not moving on until I see everyone pick up the darn calculator.
No, it's 10 plus. Come on.
What'd you get?
At -30.
I got 13. I got 13 too, yeah.
I got -30.
Yeah, -30.
What are we plugging in the calculator?
10 plus 9
Oh, what
minus
the hell
1
did you
comes
get?
Alright, so it'd be 18
Hold
times
up.
-5.
Guys, don't worry. I'll figure this out.
9 minus 1.
8 times -5 would be -40.
Oh, because you're doing
Yeah,
multiplication first, bro.
That's multiplication over there. It's not 9 minus 1 minus 5.
Guys, come on.
Yes, we are.
Okay, negative 33. God.
I gotta get
32.
I would use the parentheses as well.
Game points.
Negative 30.
this calculator.
You gotta play the game. You can't play it.
So that's the ninth term, negative 30.
That's easy.
Questions there? All right. There's other ways we can use this formula, though. All right, look at number 2. Other ways we can use the formula. Actually, you know what? Can we skip to 3? And then I'll go back to 2, because 3 kind of goes with what we just did. Can you guys find the 20th term in this sequence? 20th term. So I start out with my formula. What are we plugging in for n over here? Okay, it's important that it's a 20 and not the number 20, right? Because we're finding the 20th term. What was the first term? 3. Everyone's good? 3 plus, what's going in for n here? 20, the number of terms, minus 1. All right, now you got to calculate the d value on your own. That's common difference. That's what we're adding to every term, which is
7.
so times, make sure it's multiplication, times 7. And what are we getting here?
136.
Make sure you get 136. If not, let me know. Everyone's getting 136. All right, I'll come back to number 2, I promise. I want you to do number 4 now on your own, or in your groups, doesn't matter. Do number 4 on your own. Find the 99th term. Use the formula. I'll wait till we all get something written down.
It's not negative 4.
The only concern I would have is what is the common difference here, the d value? 4. Positive 4, right? Positive 4.
No, that's
The numbers just, make sure.
the thing about numbers and you kind of mess up on this one.
384.
Yeah.
All good? Okay, so the only thing, all I've been asking you to do is find a term in the sequence using this new formula. Oh, I can also ask a couple other questions here. Look at 5. I'll get back to 2, I know. Find the first term.
I bet.
If I give you, what information did I give you here?
Oh, reverse formula.
The 5th term is 1.5, and my common difference is 4.5, but I want to go back to the first term now. I'm going to go back to the first term. But I still want to use that formula. Still want to use it because it's arithmetic. Write out the formula. Ready? What am I asking you to find again?
First term.
First term. So I could want to leave A1, just A1, because that's what I'm going to be solving for. Now, what the heck can I plug in for all the other variables? A sub n. That represents any term in the sequence other than the first. That can be any term in the sequence other than the first. One more time. I can plug in any term in the sequence but the first one. Do we know any other term in the sequence here I gave you? The fifth one is what?
1.5.
So I can plug in 1.5. That is a term in the sequence. That's not the first. That's what A sub n can be. Keep going now. Equals. Well, we're going to leave A1. We said that because that's what we're solving for. That's like my variable. Plus. Here's a huge part we got to remember. N is this term's spot in the sequence. N is this term's spot in the sequence. Where's 1.5 fall in my sequence? The fifth term, doesn't it? So that is what's going to go here. These two always go together. This is whatever spot the term is in. 1.5 is the fifth term in the sequence. Minus 1, and I already gave you your D value. What is it?
4.5.
4.5, all right. Now this is just, you can't just plug it in your calculator like the last couple.
Oh.
Yeah, get A1 by itself. What's this mumbo jumbo over here give you? 5 minus 1 and then times 4.5.
18.
Is it 18? Okay, confirm it. That's 18.
Minus 18.
Subtract 18 on both sides. So I get A1. First term was 5.
Oh, no.
16.5.
16.5.
Negative.
Negative.
16.
Any term in the sequence, it's spot. Are you going to ask me why can't I go backwards?
Yeah, I just tried subtracting 4.5.
Tyler, I'm all right with that. The only time I'm going to tell you might run into a problem is what if I've given you the 100th term?
Yeah.
All right, that's going to be a while to work. But look, I'm for whatever gets the job done. If it's like that, fine. If it's a formula, fine too. Okay? One more before we go back to 2 and end today's class. We got Big Trev here. All right, nice kid, obviously. Huh? Look at that. He opened up a school, English language school in Japan. Way to go, Trev.
Stud.
Yeah.
What is this example, bro?
Humanitarian,
Yeah,
right? He started with 26,
A lot of people want-
and then he enrolls 3 new students each week.
That's crazy.
How many weeks will it be until he hits 101? All right, I want to get a visual here, not of Trevor, but what did he of the sequence? What's the first term?
26.
26. Next,
29.
I'm adding 3 students. I just want to get an idea what this looks like. 29, 30. Oh boy.
32.
2.
35.
And we got to get up to 101. But I'm not going to list this out. It's going to take a while. I don't have that time. But we want to know is, when do we hit 101? How many weeks is it going to take, right? How many weeks is it going to take? How can I use my formula to do this now? Okay, whoa. Hold on, boss. What can you confidently plug into the formula?
26. Plus
26 is the
First term.
first term. Oh, and you can confidently plug in what for your D value? 3 is the D value, yep. Now remember what I said. These two go together. This is any term and its position in the sequence. So let's think about this. This is any term and then its position. What term am I focused on when it hits what? So when does it hit 101? What term is 101 in the sequence? So you're solving for n in this one. Where does 101 fall? Can we are comfortable solving that? 101 equals 26. What are you going to do over here?
Distribute the 3.
Yep, I know it's on the other side, but we can still do it. And then I'll let you guys work from there. Luckily, no factoring, huh? And then when's Big Trav going to hit the 101 student mark?
26 weeks.
Yep. Keep solving. Keep solving. Should get it at 26 weeks. Now, look, you got time on a quiz or test, and you legit want to write out 26 to 101. I'm never going to take off for it. All right, but if I say, when is he going to hit 1,200 students,
You do that too.
I'm not going to allow you to stay after class so you can write all that out. Okay? We all good? What's up, boss?
Could you just have done 101 minus 26 divided by 3?
That's what I did. I got 25.
Well, that ain't the answer.
That's
Exactly.
definitely not the answer.
Exactly.
That's
But it's
probably because you're
close
missing
enough.
the first week. You didn't incorporate the 3 there.
So then, just add another.
All right?
Close enough.
All right?
Yeah, I got 26. It's multiple choice one.
All good? All right, let's go back to number 2 now. Now that we know what each piece means in the formula. There will come a time, a lot of times, where I'm just going to ask you to write a formula for this arithmetic sequence. Write an equation for the nth term. Write this right underneath as a note, please. So you remember, n stays n when I'm looking for an equation for the nth term. N stays n, and you'll see exactly what I mean here. You're not solving for anything here. A1, N, D, not solving for anything. Write out your formula. And I want an equation that represents this sequence, kind of like the explicit formula we talked about earlier. N stays what?
N.
So guess what I'm going to write here?
N.
A, N. I'm going to keep it that way. N stays N. All right, you can fill in that next one.
-8.
-8 plus
And minus 1.
N stays N. And what are you plugging in for the D value?
4.
+2.
4.
Oh, 2.
What's your deal?
Never mind.
Positive or -2?
Positive.
Now I would like you to clean up the right side. What do I mean by clean up the right side? What can you do with the 2? Distribute it, and then combine it with a -8 at the end. And I'll show you what you just did, because I don't think you guys know the power of what you're doing right now.
Are we changing lines? No.
This is how you do an equation for the nth term. Let n stay n. Plug in everything.
Did we just create the first thing? Like the thing that we did in the first
Yep.
time? We just created the other version of it.
Distribute the 2, everybody, and combine it with the -8. What do we end up with here? 2n
So
Well, it's not previous.
minus 10? 2n or 10 minus or -10 plus 2n? Is everyone getting 2n minus 10? All right, what did you just do for me? Ready for this?
We just did
Plug in 3 for me right now. For n, plug in 3.
-4.
What do you get when you plug in 3?
-4.
Yeah, top the dome.
That was the third term.
Oh,
No.
no.
You're coming up with those explicit formulas I showed you at the beginning for this one. You made that up now on your own. Plug in 2. Go ahead, plug in 2 for n.
Wait, does does that mean there's a way to like reverse it?
What do you mean reverse it?
Wait, is it explicit the thing we did yesterday?
No, that's today,
Never mind.
where you just plug in whatever you want. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. The equation for the nth term. Let n stay n. I know we have one more, but I want to do that with you before you start your assignment on Monday. So get out your Chromebooks and start Delta Math.
Alright.
Let's go. Start to get a couple. We got 10 minutes. You can get a couple problems done. Line papers on the next page, like usual.